Welcome back, Grind Force gamers. Datscat GFG here, and I'm happy to bring you our first video on AFK Journey. It's certainly been fun, and I was lucky enough to sit down with Falcon GFG the other day and talk to him all about it. So without further ado, please enjoy. Datscat, yours truly here, and I kind of am really excited to talk to Falcon about this game because he played AFK Arena and has said that there are some correlations. So Falcon, what do you think about AFK Journey thus far?
So far, I'm loving it. This is, if you are familiar with AFK Arena, there is a lot of carryover here. So we have a lot of familiar characters that I already know kind of what their core attributes are based on how they were used in AFK Arena.
Okay.
Like Rowan, for example, is a great example because he is serving the same role in that he's just this energy battery for your team.
Okay.
Up energy with
Yeah.
his ultimate, but it's even the battles are somewhat similar. It's a little bit more of an isometric view, and there's a little more detail in the formations. So I view it kind of as a continuation or an evolution of AFK Arena.
That's so exciting, and I know that you had a lot of fun playing AFK Arena, and I personally didn't play it, but picking up AFK Journey, I don't think I'm missing out on anything. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. You don't need to know the lore ahead of time or anything. This is a standalone game. It is. It just happens to kind of take place in the same universe as another great game.
Nice, nice. So if you are familiar with AFK Arena, hey, you're good to go. You're gonna see some correlations there, and that's really fun. If you're not missing out on anything, and you're gonna have a ton of fun playing this game. I know that I have. You know, I can't put it down. I've just been every free second I get, I've been logging on and checking out what I can do to further level things up. And we're only in what, day 4 or 5? When did this come out? Tuesday night, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the 26th.
The 26th. So not long ago did this game pop, and we all hopped on it. So I'm really eager to get some more content pumping out for all you GFG faithfuls out there. You should get this game and join our Discord. We're pumping on server 25, so if you can get on there, we'd love to get you in the guild and play together. I think that there's a great opportunity for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good point. It is, we should mention right out the gate, it is server based. So
Yes.
if you want to play with your friends, you all need to kind of get on the same page, be like, what server are we all going to switch to once we get started? Because otherwise you won't be able to join the same guild. This is the same problem we had in Street Fighter Duel. It is all locked to a server. So get on, have communication with your friends ahead of time so that you can play together.
Yeah, so one thing that I would recommend if you do intend to play with other people and not do the solo, and I think you can do it solo and get in a good guild and be totally fine and whatnot, but what I would recommend is get into the game. You know, you're going to have to do some preliminary little beginning of the game video scenes or whatever, but the second you can pause it and get into your main screen by clicking the top left, then you can go over to the settings button, hit others, hit account, and then from there you can create a secondary account, which will be your main account, and you can choose which server you're going to be on. So if you want to join us, server 25, Grind Force is the guild. We're looking forward to seeing you, and my goodness, I'm so happy we learned our lesson with Street Fighter Duel and got out in front of this one.
Yeah, it would have been a big bummer to have that same problem.
Yeah. Big bummer. Okay, so some of you out there might be asking, well, who are you using? Who has been successful? You guys, obviously are been playing for a couple days now. So who are you using? And Falcon, I want to know who you are using.
So right now, I am rolling with support, Rowan as a support.
Okay.
And then Leica as a kind of a specialist unit. She kind of boosts everybody's speed. So those two I remembered from AFK Arena. I kind of knew what their utility was, and I liked them, so I built them right away. Thorin is another one carrying over from AFK Arena, and he is a great tank. Just like in the previous game, he has his resurrection ability, and I think with his exclusive item later in the game, that will be buffed up and everything, so that he becomes invincible while he's pulling that off and things like that.
Man.
He becomes capable of just putting out enormous amounts of damage because he soaks up a bunch and then shoots it out in a big arc.
It's awesome. He's on my main squad. I can't put him down. He's the tank for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll probably talk about this in a second, but in my opinion, there seems to be a shortage of good tanks. So I'm looking forward to some new character releases on that front.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, we only have so many characters. I don't have them all as far as I know, but I have a lot of them. You know, I paid a little bit of money just to get a teeny bit ahead, and I'll probably go free to play from here on out. And I think that I don't have all the heroes yet. I don't know. I have
there's quite a few, and we for sure don't have any of the Celestials or Hypogeans because we don't have the Stargazing unlocked yet.
Okay.
Those are the specialty characters that we won't be able to see just yet.
Okay. So there's layers to this, and you think you have an idea about what these layers are going to look like because you played AFK Journey, or I'm sorry, AFK Arena, correct?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are similar. Basically, if you think about it in Street Fighter duel terms, the Celestials are the Master faction, and the Hypogeans are the Infernal faction.
Okay, so we're gonna see some a different faction yet come out, that may be a little cohesive with some of the other factions, or might work off some of those same mechanics or something like that.
Well, we will also get a legendary faction, like we have in Street Fighter Duel as well. So in AFK Arena, they actually did this properly, in my opinion. You had to save up an enormous amount of resources. The event would go on for like 90 days or something.
Wow.
But you would have all that time to save up resources, and you could spend huge chunks of them to purchase a legendary character for free.
Okay, so there's... because Nova GFG and I today were talking about this, and he and I were kind of thinking there's no real reason to be saving a bunch of your resources, but maybe some of those select resources are meant to be saved later on down the road when we get later on down the game. I mean, one point that I was making to Nova is you know, we're late game in a bunch of other games that we're currently playing. And to take that late game mentality and to bring it into the early game of a brand new game, I think is a trap, you know? You need to go and you need to spend resources in early game to get yourself to a point where you can start reaping those AFK benefits on, you know, everything's on a graph, right? There's going to be a curve, and you want to start being on the upward trajectory of the curve before you really start saving for things. So good to know.
Yeah, early on, I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. It's more important to just boost up what you can in order to keep things rolling and keep your AFK rewards growing and just having everything have forward momentum continuously rather than saving in the early parts. You'll reach the bottlenecks in the parts where you need to save things up, but that'll come later.
All right, so I've been using... I did the special summon for Vala. And I already have her all the way to Mythic, and that's pretty awesome.
Ooh,
I know.
that is pretty awesome.
But one thing I've noticed is that she is a little squishy.
Mystery is the most beautiful thing.
She is a little squishy. I pulled her out of my main lineup. I only have her at like Epic Plus or something, but
yeah, okay.
I did get a few copies from the rate up.
Yep.
But yeah, she hasn't stayed in my consistent lineup very often because Sacia is my main damage dealer.
Yeah, okay. And she's that I have to find her. I'm not familiar with the faces quite yet, but
well, she's really cool because she's a marksman, so she's you know, distance, but she also summons a creature called Mr. Carlisle, who's basically this huge golem who drops into the middle of the enemies and just hits like a truck, and so he turns the fight into, you know, 6v5.
Wow. Okay.
And she is always my top damage dealer so far.
Oh, I do know who she is. She's also in my main lineup. I overlooked
These are all
it.
new characters to us.
She's my #1 focus. I have her leveled more than everybody else, and she does an incredible amount of damage. Every time. You're right. Every single time she is the
it's
premier
nuts.
damage dealer.
She's
It's
going to be
crazy.
really susceptible to assassin type units who are able to
Yep.
target the back line because she herself doesn't have a ton of HP. She just kind of hides behind Mr. Carlisle, that
Yep.
big golem that takes everything out. So she can get hit from behind, but man, she's really powerful.
Now I'm running 2
I am
tanks.
Entendre, an
My
exile.
second tank being Antandra, right?
Okay, Entendre from the Mauler faction.
From the Mauler faction, yeah. And she's great. I put her right behind my Thorin, just because when Thorin does his resurrect, the enemies will then focus the next person in line. So I try to put her right behind Thorin so that when he needs to do his resurrect, then those don't target my DPS units. And if I'm running into a heavy melee stage, then that's certainly what I do. If I'm not, then I'll sub her out and put somebody like Lycia in. I have no idea if I'm saying these names ready, but Lyca. So comment down below if you know how to say it better than I do.
Yeah, Leica, I believe is her name.
Leica.
I like her a lot as well.
Yeah, the AoE on it is pretty impressive, and her damage is really, really good sometimes, and when it's not like really, really, really good, it's still pretty darn good. So I think she's worth having on the field.
Well, she's great just to have on the field because of the haste she gives to everybody.
Yep. Her with rowing is really good.
Real quick. Yeah, all allies' attack speed increases by 25 for 6 seconds. So that's triggered immediately at the start of battle and grants all allies 120 energy.
Oh.
And then can be upgraded to attack speed up to 40 once it's fully upgraded.
Wow.
That's just for having her on the field.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. We love that one. She's awesome. So I put her in. She's like kind of my sub-in unit if I'm running into some issues. And there are some tier list videos already out. So I would recommend, guys, if you want to go check those out, maybe that's a good place to jump off from. Just keep in mind that this game is brand new. I'm unsure if there's like a Japanese version. Do you know anything about that, Falcon? Have you heard anything?
I know there were like I forget what the
like beta testings.
Kind of servers they're called, but yeah, the beta servers were out for a while. I don't know.
So
how widespread that was.
So there's some insight out there as to who you can kind of focus on. So if you wanted to, you could check those tier lists out and kind of get an idea on who you want to focus on. But the game's pretty nice with regard to like you can sub people in and out and everybody's kind of at the same level because of how they have the equipment system. So I was wondering, Falcon, if you wanted to talk quick about that equipment system. I'll pull something up here.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
The equipment, they're doing it a little bit differently than AFK Arena. AFK Arena is more traditional, like Street Fighter Duel, where you are equipping individual pieces of equipment on each and every character and leveling each of those pieces of equipment one at a time.
Yep.
This has kind of a cool setup where you can click the equipment tab underneath your characters, and you can just auto-equip everything that you have available for all your support units, or all of your mage units, or all of your marksmen. And it will automatically put in the highest possible one, and then you can still go in and forge them up to higher levels if you have the materials and things like that.
Yep.
But you don't need to worry about each and every character having their own pieces of equipment. That is all completely streamlined for you, so that you're able to swap in these characters however you want without changing over any equipment. So that's really nice.
And yeah, and it's also really nice because that means you can test out squads. So that kind of leads me to believe that this game is kind of going to be catered to matchups and squads in late games, like really dialing in like the factional bonuses and that kind of stuff to eke your way out. Because I've also noticed that when you feel like you're gatekeeped at a certain point in the story or with a certain level in the AFK rankings, like it doesn't take much for upgrading for you to then get past that, like so far. And I know we're early.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is still very early, and that's kind of the point. They're drawing us in at this point. But also, yeah, you never get frustrated. because all it takes is a little bit of tweaking or just, a little bit of AFK time. Just
Yep.
boost up those rewards for even just a couple hours. You can get some levels up, and there it is. You're on to the next level. It's a constant climb, at least in the early game like this. So that's been really fun too.
I've just been enjoying this game massively. I think it's a surefire pickup for anybody who wants to put some time in but doesn't have a ton of time, because another thing I've experienced is you don't need to put a ton of time in to get a lot out of the game. You know, sure, if we want to play all idealistically and manage and perfect a game with regard to time management and that kind of stuff, like, I think you could get through this game pretty quickly, because you don't need to watch all of the cutscenes and videos. You can skip all that stuff. So if you're one who doesn't really care about the story, you can kind of fly through this stuff and auto walk to the next achievement and that kind of stuff, and it really limits the time needed to run through a day of this game. So one thing I want to talk about, Falcon, here is just kind of like, what do you do? Like, what let's say we get this game, so what are we doing? So events, something I wanted to talk about. Try to pull those
man,
up here.
Where do we get started? There's a lot going on. I would say kind of, the main story mode is, kind of the top-down perspective. You're walking around the map. You're going to travel to your different objectives. Usually it's a matter of just some dialogue, fetch quests, and fights. It's usually really intuitive. There's nothing too complicated involved.
Yep.
You can also search around for chests and things like that. So that's kind of the exploration mode, and you'll be able to see other players on the map from your guild and your server.
Yeah, it's really
and
fun.
Interact with them. Yeah, it's you guys sent me screenshots earlier today. It was like I spotted a wild falcon. My character was just resting in the dark forest somewhere.
We totally did. And I even see people from our guild out there. Oh, it's so much fun.
And I mean, that's just the one mode. We've got, even if we just open the battle modes stage, we've already got 6 tabs underneath the actual AFK stage stuff. And we're still early. There's probably going to be a dozen more before long.
Yeah.
So here we sit with Dream Realm, Honor Duel, Arena, Battle Drills, Arcane Labyrinth, and Legend Trial.
Yep. And I think my least favorite is the Honor Duel, if I'm being honest.
That's so far that's the one that feels the most like a chore if I'm going through the dailies and my attempts.
Yep.
But I get a lot of enjoyment out of it as well. It does have some interesting strategy that you don't see elsewhere in the game.
Yeah. Yep. Matchups and stuff like that, PvP style stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll rattle through these real quick just to give everyone an idea. Oops, bumped my mic. I'll rattle through these real quick just to give everyone an idea of what they are. Basically, the Dream Realm is boss fights. So you're going to see a different boss each day, and you'll choose which team and formation you're going to use and try to get the highest score that you can. And when you beat a boss, you'll get up to the next level of boss, and it's never ending. You're just constantly pushing your score.
Okay. Well, I mean, I got a pretty good score on mine. I'm really happy.
I'm top 10 to 20% right now, so
Wow.
I hope I can hold that in what is it, the Croaker, King Croaker?
Yeah, I'm King Croaker, second tier, and 18.80, top 18%.
Okay, I'm top 19, so we're right in sync there.
Ooh, buddy. Yeah, I did 728,000, almost 729,000 damage.
701. 701.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so there's a testament. Now, I've spent a little bit of money on the game. Falcon, you're pretty much free to play as far as I know, right?
100% free to play. I plan on keeping that little first purchase thing active the entire time I play. I'm going to give a free to play perspective here.
Heck yeah. So, but there's some testament. You don't need to spend money on this game at all, guys. You just go and have fun. And
yeah, especially early on, I recommend not just get a feel for it first, and then you'll be able to figure out if you are going to spend money. You'll be able to figure out that way, what you should invest in.
Yeah, there are traps in every one of these gacha games. So, so let's talk about Honor Duel then. My least favorite, the most chory one.
All right. Well, explain why you think that. Why is that your opinion on it so far?
Well, it's forcing me to work with squads that I don't know enough about. And I think that's cool. It will force me to kind of just figure out who's good and who's not, and which factions to use and which factions not, and what has synergy and what doesn't. But I don't need a game type to do that with, and I lose a lot, and it's frustrating, and it makes me want to quit. And I don't. And
Well, yeah, I mean, if it frustrates you, don't bother with it.
yeah,
But at the same time, it is going to be a really good way to just get familiar with the characters more than anything else. You'll start to understand what kind of utility they should have.
yep,
I'm still
100%.
early now as well. I actually won my first one. I got all 9 victories.
Wow,
I lost the next several I did.
nice. Well, it sounds like you got a knack. So, moving on
Well,
to
I know about half the characters.
that's gotta help.
That does help.
That's gotta
It
help a
does
lot.
help a lot.
Moving on to Arena, I found my way all the way to Elite 1, and this is your standard PvP battles, guys. You know, you get when you hit challenge, you get a kind of pick who you're going to fight, so you can kind of curtail whether you're going to win or lose. You hope to pick the correct battle every time, but that's not always the case. And then there's like a little bit of positioning. There are a couple different maps that will show up, so you got to always pay attention to kind of how your team is positioned. But that's pretty much it for PvP.
Yeah, there's no surprises here. This is exactly what you would expect to one-on-one. The part that's new from Arena is the formation bit. Depending on the map, you'll choose where those characters go. But otherwise, it's familiar from AFK Arena.
Yep, and pretty much any PvP scenario that you're gonna think of it is what it is.
Yep.
It's really
we
fun.
all know what PvP is. Yeah, you're up a little higher than I'm only Adept 2, but you've been playing for an extra day.
Yep. I downloaded it I mean, I probably within the first hour of its release to get onto server 25, like naturally, right?
Everyone else had to migrate to you.
Yep.
Well, let's see. The next one is Battle Drills. So this is the guild-focused event. I am still a little bit fuzzy on this one. This is a new game mode to me. Basically, it seems like we get a certain, each of our characters, rather, gets a certain amount of stamina. I think you pick 10.
Yep.
And then that stamina refills. I think it's each day.
Yep.
But it's not a whole lot. It's only enough for you to do like 2 battles each day so far.
It's 2 battles per team and 10 characters, 2 teams. So you really gotta kind of count on your guild to do a lot of damage, because like it's gonna take everybody, and that's by design.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna take everyone's participation, because it's not one player being really OP doesn't help. They can only do so many attacks.
Yeah. I love seeing my face up on our display wall too.
I know. I was wondering if it's just doing the highest. You might just have the highest rank for all of the things they're talking about.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, check this out. I have never done an emote. Will you do my first emote with me?
Yeah. So the joint thing. How do we do this?
Yeah.
Oh, high five.
Oh, we get stuff. Oh, we got stuff for that.
Yeah, those are the PAL coins.
Can we dance with each other? All right.
I think you need to purchase that emote.
But we can do this.
I forget where I saw that. Somewhere in the Emporium you can...
Okay, so we can't... Oh, we can just do that and get... Okay.
Yeah, I guess it keeps going.
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen. All right, so here... So we've done this. Yeah, there were a couple battles along the way where you had to hit the same target multiple times. I can't. Okay, so we did that. Are we on? We are on to the last battle, which is really...
Yeah. If you're looking at the battle drills, we are on the boss, Mother Bloom, or Bloom Mother.
Bloom Mother, and all of my characters do not have enough stamina to compete in this, so I gotta wait till reset.
Yeah, we're close to reset though, aren't we? Like
8 o'clock for me.
Yeah, it's half hour or so.
Yep. So I'll be able to take that down, and I'm excited to. I really like the boss fight so far. It's just fun. I mean, you get to test your lineups. You know, and figure out who's buffing who, and do you need more, depending on the level of the boss, do you need more sustain? Can you throw another DPS on the field? Can I get rid of my tank and put another DPS unit on there? You know, factional bonuses, these types of things all come into play. It's really cool.
Yeah, and there will be plenty of fighters who are boss specific. That just like AFK Arena or Street Fighter Duel, where you have everyone with their specialties, and so there are going to be some characters that aren't any good anywhere else, but they might be monsters in PvP or specifically the Dream Realm or battle drills like this or on defense.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to have their place.
I think I was reading in an early tier list that fighter Odie was really good with bosses, but kind of everywhere else he's kind of just squishy, but his physical output is a lot or something. But again, check those out. And Grind Force Gaming, I think personally, before I start recording another video on a tier list, I want to know more about the game. So I'm gonna keep playing it, and we hope to get you guys tier lists out eventually coming down the road.
Yeah, we should know that everyone, if you're looking at these tier lists right now, make sure you're taking it with a grain of salt, because you don't know who's putting that list out. It could just be, this is some 10-year-old's opinion, and it happened to be, upvoted enough on Reddit or something.
Yep.
Whereas some of them have been well researched, but you don't know for sure. So make sure you're looking at a bunch of them, and mostly trust what you can actually see in game. Play with these characters and get used to them.
And we're early, and early game is about having fun, so like use who you like as well. Keep that in mind. I think people get too idealistic about things, and I believe that can kind of ruin things sometimes for people. I don't have this hero, I need to build this hero, everybody's building this hero. Yeah, but there are a lot of heroes that you can have fun with, so don't be afraid to just have fun with the game too. That's all part of the grind.
Don't be caught in all the little gotcha traps.
Yep. Well, Falcon.
We got a couple more to go through here.
On the shoot!
Modes. We
Okay.
Lost our train of thought here, but we got to talk about the Arcane Labyrinth.
Yep.
So this is, if I remember right, we go one room at a time, and we usually choose one of two buffs that we're going to get as we progress through that stage. And then so far there's been 15 floors, I think.
Yes.
And so you just make it through to the end.
And pretty good rewards too.
Yeah, the rewards are definitely solid. And the first time you beat each of the different levels, you'll get, what are these called? The Epic Invite Letters. Yep,
and I just got 3 of them because I didn't collect the rewards from my previous run. But yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's awesome. I really enjoy Arcane Labyrinth. It's probably my favorite out of all of these many maybe Dream Realm, and then Battle Drills and Arcane Labyrinth are tied, but I really like those types of game types. And it seems like certain cell phone games are only one of these game types, but this cell phone game, AFK Journey, has all of these different types of game types. You got your PvP, you got your I don't know what to call them, but like stage builders, where you get to build your kit out essentially, and what you're kind of trying to do, and your heroes. It's got the honor duel, where you're forced to use heroes that you might not be familiar with, and get to do that. All sorts of stuff. I really have been having a super fun time with the AFK Journey.
It'll be cool too to see the different ones that they still come out with, because by the time Arena, we've been playing it now for, I don't know, however many years it's been out, probably 3 or 4 years now, maybe a little longer. Anyway, it's they have what I would describe now as an overwhelming amount of content options. In regards to the different game modes that you can choose to get involved in, to the point where I was like, man, I can't possibly keep all of these straight. So you have to kind of pick and choose which ones are your favorites, and go with what you can.
Well, that's kind of cool that AFK Journey came out and kind of gave you a little reset button on that, and you can still enjoy the same lore and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think clearly the developers, knew what they were doing. They're like, all right, everyone knows these characters. We've got a good brand and everything. We just now need to, refresh it and give a brand new look to it and bring people back to it.
Heck yeah. All right, so the last one, Legend Trial. And this seems to be like Monday, Friday, Sunday, or a Tuesday, you know, like alternate
Yep.
days. So these are just basically your standard towers. These are your, there are a million fights, and you get to use the best of who you got for the different faction, and you just battle. Simply
Yep,
put.
that's it exactly. Your standard tower mode, factional based. Probably later we'll get Celestial and Hypogean towers as well.
Yep, yep. But that's kind of the battle modes there. So let's see. We covered heroes a little bit. We covered battle modes a little bit. We covered a little bit in the guild. Server 25 is where you should be. The
Want to
Mystic
join Grind Force?
Yeah, join.
Make sure you go to S25.
S25. Join that grind force. Join our Discord too. Like and subscribe as well. So I think the last thing we can talk about is the Mystical House, and it seems to just be kind of where you go to do your summons. So right now there's a rate up for Vala, and she's kind of a rogue style assassin, a little squishy in my opinion. I'm not sure how.
All the damage though.
All damage. Oh yeah, she does really, really well. But then you can do the all recruitment for, you get the letters for that, or you can use gems for that. And then the epic recruitment are the special letters that you can get. And so far, and then the Star Guys station that's locked. I'm sure that that's going to be the special fighters that Falcon's been alluding to. What were they called again?
That will be the Celestials and the Hypogeans.
The Celestials and Hypogeans. So
I
that's...
think of it as heaven and hell.
Okay. Yep. Okay. We can do that. And that's kind of the game, guys. So in a quick shot and a quick overview, that is AFK Journey. Much more to come. Again, Grind Force Gaming is looking to get into this game pretty hard and come to you with a lot of content. And some tier lists on the way. Also, maybe some boss battles and boss strategies. You know, maybe some locations of chests or those types of things. All coming your way, courtesy of Grind Force Gaming. So like, subscribe. If you enjoyed this content, check out our Discord channel. I make sure to include that in the description down below. And leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you think about AFK Journey. And if you're able to get into server 25.
Yeah, let us know what characters you guys are working with and having fun with. Let us know in the Discord. Come join the Grind Force Gaming Discord. We'd love to chat with you. We just love to have a community of gamers where we can chat and have fun and talk about these things. So we'd love to have you join us. And yeah, look forward to more content. We'll talk about some team compositions and what characters work best in which roles. We'll cover all that down the road. Right now, we just wanted to give you a quick shot, first impressions video, let you know that we're playing this game and we plan to release content for it.
You bet, my friend. All right. Well, Grind Force Gaming out. Peace.
Peace.